When you think of Egypt, what comes to mind? Probably the pyramids, right? Towering structures, pharaohs covered in gold. But what if I told you there's something else there? Something hiding just beneath the sun-baked stone, whispers carried on the desert wind. Yeah, we're gonna get into it, because these are definitely not the stories you'll find in any textbook. So, picture this. You're in the Valley of the Kings. You're surrounded by these massive, silent tombs of ancient royalty. It's dead quiet, almost too quiet. And then you hear it, a faint whisper, but there's no one there. The tour guides will tell you, oh, it's just the wind. But you know that chill you feel running down your spine? That has nothing to do with the temperature down there.
Okay, now let's jump over to Giza. It's late at night, the stars are out, all the tourists have gone home. It's just you and the Great Pyramid. But for decades, people, security guards, late-night travelers, they've all reported hearing something strange. The sound of footsteps crunching on the sand, circling the pyramid. But when they look, nothing. Nobody.
And it gets weirder. If you go way out into the Ifrit desert, this huge, empty, white landscape, right as the sun is setting, something changes. This time, you don't hear anything, you feel it. Travelers talk about this undeniable ancient feeling of being watched, like something staring at you from the deep shadows of the rocks.
So you've got whispers, footsteps, the feeling of being watched. I mean, it's easy to just write all that off as ghost stories, right? Your mind playing tricks on you. But what if it's not? What if these are all just echoes of something much, much older? Something fiery. You see, these stories aren't just meant to be scary. They're a warning. And trust me, you're going to want to stick around to find out what that warning is. To really get what's going on in these ancient places, we have to forget about ghosts for a second. The source of all this, it's not born from shadows or some lingering spirit. It's born from something way more volatile, something you can't even see, smokeless fire. And that brings us to the jinn. In Arabian and Islamic mythology, jinn are these supernatural creatures that were around way before us humans. They weren't made from clay like people or from light like angels, but from this very specific, smokeless fire. The idea is that they live in a world parallel to ours, right here, right now, but totally invisible to us.
And here's what's so fascinating. Jinn aren't just straightforward demons. They're complex. Just like us, they can be good, they can be evil, or they can just not care about us at all. They can be anywhere, in old ruins, under the ground. They can even look like animals or other people. And they have incredible power, but most of the time, you just feel them. You know that random shiver you get, or that creepy feeling that you're being watched? Yeah, that could be a jinn.
Okay, so we've got this whole world of powerful, unseen beings. But before I tell you the exact type of jinn we're talking about today, the one behind all these Egyptian stories, I want you to take a guess. Just think about it for a second. What do you think is the real source of the horror here? Is it some angry ghost? A forgotten ritual gone wrong? Or is it something about the place itself? Go ahead, lock in your answer.
All right, no more whispers. It's time to put a name to this unseen fire, the one that's been haunting Egyptian folklore for centuries.
The name is Ifrit. You might also see it spelled A-F-R-E-T. Now, out of all the different kinds of jinn, the Ifrit are, well, they're the heavy hitters. They're considered some of the most powerful, the most formidable, and absolutely one of the most feared. They're cunning, they're strong, and yeah, they're usually pretty malicious. But the real reason they're so terrifying, it has nothing to do with what they can do to you from the outside.
And this is the key that unlocks the entire mystery. It's a common belief, especially in Islamic Egypt, that the Ifrit, it's not just some monster lurking in the shadows. It's connected to a part of the human soul itself. That connection to the soul, that's what makes this whole thing so profoundly scary and why these stories have stuck around for so long. It completely changes the game. The Ifrit isn't some monster that's out there, it's an internal threat. It's like a dark reflection of ourselves.
So the true Ifrit in these old stories, it's not really a fire demon at all. It's a metaphor. It represents that smokeless, destructive fire that can burn inside a person. You know what I'm talking about. That white-hot, uncontrollable rage. That feeling of jealousy that just eats you alive. That need for revenge that you just can't shake. Those whispers in the tombs, they're not just ghosts. They are warnings about the fire that's dormant inside every single one of us. And that's why these stories never die. Because that feeling, it's terrifyingly familiar. So let's shift gears. How has this super deep psychological idea shown up in our modern world? Well, it's all over fantasy, but you're going to see that while the name is the same, what it means has completely changed.
And this breaks it down perfectly. The original, folklore Ifrit, it comes from our own soul. It's a psychological warning about what we are capable of becoming. The fantasy Ifrit we see in games and movies, that's all about elemental magic. It's a big, powerful fire monster that you have to go out and fight. See the difference? The fear went from being an internal struggle to an external battle.
I mean, if you've played any video games or tabletop RPGs, you know the Ifrit. It's an iconic summon in the Final Fantasy series, right? A major creature in Dungeons & Dragons. In all this new lore, it just stands for raw, destructive, elemental power. And the fact that it's so popular, it kind of shows that we're fascinated by that very same uncontrollable fire the old stories warned us about. We've basically taken the warning and turned it into a power fantasy that we want to control.
And that leaves us with one last, kinda unsettling thought. We spend so much time creating monsters to fight in our stories. Dragons, demons, pixelated Ifrits. But what if the old folklore had it right from the very beginning? What if the most terrifying, most destructive power we can possibly imagine is the one that's already burning, quietly, inside of us?
Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you subscribe because we've got a lot more global folklore coming your way. Next time, we're leaving the desert sands behind and heading to the frozen forests of the north to talk about a creature born from a hunger that can never, ever be satisfied. And seriously, if you're someone who loves well-researched stories that really dig deep, do us a favor and hit that notification bell. You are not going to want to miss what we have planned.